They say love is the greatest teacher, but no one tells you how it teaches. Not through comfort, but through pain. Not through perfection, but through the moments that break you open. For many of us, love begins as a dream, the promise that someone out there will finally understand us. But soon, life reminds us, no one can complete what we refuse to meet within ourselves. This is where the lover's path begins, not in romance, not in fantasy, but in the quiet ache of loneliness. When Carl Jung spoke of the anima and animus, the feminine and masculine energies within, he wasn't talking about gender. He was talking about the hidden halves of our soul, always reaching for balance. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." So maybe the heartbreak you carry wasn't a punishment. Maybe it was life's way of showing you the part of yourself you've ignored for too long. Every argument, every betrayal, every silent night, they are mirrors. They reflect not who the other person is, but what you still need to heal inside. You see, love has a strange way of exposing us. It brings light to our wounds, and in that light, we see how fragile we are. But fragility is not weakness. It's the doorway to compassion. Because compassion can only be born when we've felt our own pain deeply enough to understand someone else's. And maybe that's why the people who've been broken the most often love the hardest. They've walked through fire. They've seen what it costs to heal. And now, their heart beats differently. Not just for themselves, but for anyone who's ever been lost. Slow. If you listen closely, beneath your wounds there's a voice whispering, "Don't run, don't hide. Sit with your pain." It's trying to show you the way back to yourself. The first step on the lover's path is not to love someone else. It's to sit beside your own brokenness without judgment. To hold your fear like a child who's been crying too long. To say, "It's okay. You're safe now. I'm here." That's compassion, not pity, not weakness, but the courage to be kind, even to the parts of you you once called unworthy. Because real love begins when you stop trying to fix yourself and start learning to listen to yourself. Every person who enters your life carries a mirror. Some reflect your beauty, others reflect your wounds, and sometimes the one who hurts you the most shows you exactly what you need to see. We like to think relationships are about finding someone to love us, but Jung said, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Love is not a safe space. It's an alchemical fire. It burns away illusions. It shows you your shadows. And in doing so, it offers you something deeper, truth. When someone triggers you, it isn't always because they're wrong for you. It's often because they're touching a part of your past you've never healed. The way they leave reminds you of abandonment. The way they criticize mirrors your inner voice, the one that says you'll never be enough. The way they pull away reveals the distance you already feel inside yourself. Love is not just about connection, it's about reflection. It's the mirror where your inner world becomes visible. After one, and here's the difficult truth, if you don't understand your own pain, you'll keep choosing people who remind you of it, over and over again, hoping this time it will end differently. But it never does, until you finally face it. This is why healing doesn't mean cutting people off. It means learning from what they awaken in you. The person who betrayed you, they taught you boundaries. The one who left without saying goodbye, they taught you self-respect. The one who never saw your worth, they forced you to finally see it yourself. You don't heal by forgetting them. You heal by forgiving yourself for who you were when you didn't know better. Carl Jung once said that the parts of ourselves we reject, the shadow, don't disappear. They live on, waiting for someone else to carry them for us. That's why you keep attracting the same pain. It's not a curse, it's communication. Life keeps repeating the lesson until love becomes your response. So maybe the person who disappointed you wasn't sent to destroy you. Maybe they were sent to awaken you. Because until we see what love is not, we cannot understand what love truly is. And love, true love, is not found in perfection. It's found in patience. It's the way you choose to stay soft in a world that keeps trying to make you hard. It's the strength to keep your heart open, even after it's been broken. You are not weak for loving deeply. You are courageous for believing that love is still worth it. Remember this: every heartbreak is a sacred teacher, and when the pain fades, what remains is wisdom. There comes a moment, after the pain, after the silence, when you realize the person you were trying to find in others was you all along. You see, healing doesn't happen when you forget. It happens when you remember who you were before the world taught you to hide. We spend so much of our lives chasing love outside ourselves. Validation, approval, affection, as if the right person could fill the space within us that we refuse to enter. But true love is not found in another heartbeat. It's found when you finally sit still enough to hear your own. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But to become who you truly are, you must first let go of who you thought you needed to be. All your roles, the strong one, the fixer, the pleaser, the one who never lets go, they were survival. But survival is not the same as living. The lover's path, at its core, is not about finding someone to hold your hand. It's about learning to hold your own heart with the same tenderness you once gave to everyone else. When you finally stop running from your pain, something beautiful happens. The energy you once spent holding yourself together becomes the energy that makes you whole again. You stop asking, "Why did they hurt me?" And you start asking, "What was I meant to learn?" You begin to see your triggers not as enemies, but as guides, each one pointing toward a wound that still needs love. You realize forgiveness isn't about saying what happened was okay. It's about releasing the weight you've been carrying. Because holding on to anger is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Forgiveness is freedom, not for them, but for you. It's the moment you stop living as a reaction to pain and start living as a response to love. And that's when compassion begins to bloom. Not the soft, naive kind that lets everyone walk over you, but the kind that says, "I understand you. I see your pain, but I will not become your pain." That's real power, not control, but clarity. You no longer need to be right, to prove, to chase, or to earn. You are enough, not because someone says so, but because you finally feel it within. And as you return to yourself, something inside shifts quietly. The noise fades, the rush stops, and in that silence you realize you were never broken. You were simply becoming softer, wiser, more open, becoming the version of yourself who no longer needs to be loved perfectly, only honestly. And that is the essence of healing. To remember that the love you were searching for was never lost. It was simply waiting for you to come home. At some point in every healing journey, there comes a quiet understanding that love was never meant to save you. It was meant to reveal you. You've walked through pain, through loss, through the mirrors of others. You faced your shadow and met your wounds with compassion. And now, something new is awakening inside you. Not the old self patched together, but a deeper wholeness. Carl Jung called this individuation, the process of becoming whole. It is not the end of your story, but the moment you begin to live it consciously. When the light and the dark, the strength and the softness, finally stop fighting and start listening to each other. You see, wholeness is not perfection. It's the peace that comes when you no longer need to hide any part of yourself. The shadow no longer frightens you because you've learned its language. The pain no longer defines you because you've given it purpose. And the love you now carry, it's different. It's quieter, but stronger. It doesn't rush to fix, to prove, or to possess. It simply is. That's what compassion becomes after transformation. Not a feeling, but a way of seeing. You look at others and realize everyone is fighting something invisible. Everyone is learning, unlearning, becoming. So you stop judging. You start listening. And in listening, you begin to love. Not as an escape from pain, but as a return to truth. You've spent your life searching for the one, but the one you were searching for was always you, the version of yourself who could finally love without fear. The lover's path ends where it began, within. Because when you learn to love yourself with understanding, you no longer seek love to fill you, you share love to express you. You walk through the world with quiet confidence, not because everything is perfect, but because you are present, you are real, you are whole.